Hi, and welcome to another edition of Business Success Fertilizer Application, brought to you by Referral Exchange Networking. It's a beautiful spring day, so I took off my sweater and I'm just relaxing here. And I want to talk to you, since it's springtime, about what everybody thinks of, or every gardener thinks of in the spring: fertilizer. Or actually, in this case, education is fertilizer. With spring obviously just around the corner, or actually, I think today is the first day of spring, March 20th, when I'm recording this, a gardener's thoughts turns to fertilizer. Although its application would seem to be fairly simple, it really isn't. Every garden is different, and the types of fertilizer needed could vary greatly. Additionally, depending on what the gardener is growing, the type and amount of fertilizer required will be different, as will be the timing of its application, and both dependent on current environmental conditions. How do you know if your garden needs fertilizer? Well, if its growth is stagnant, it's not thriving or living up to its potential, it needs help. And as you can see here, we're using a lot of metaphors. Gardening as business. The majority of fertilizers belong to one of two types: quick release versus slow release. As you can imagine, quick release fertilizers provide a fast growth spurt, but if applied too often, they put too much stress on the plants and they eventually burn out. Slow release fertilizers provide for steady, sustained growth that avoids burnout, makes your plants less susceptible to disease, and maintains an environment that supports long term gardening success. And just as every garden is different, every business is different. Just as different gardens need different fertilizer regimens, the needs of your business, including your educational needs, require a specific approach. Some businesses will require a quick release solution to get something started. For example, an educational burst might overcome a particular hurdle for a needed growth spurt. And growth spurts, again, for your business can be great, but if uncontrolled, they can often result in burned out plants or burnt out businesses. Other businesses may not need a quick fix solution, but require a long term approach when it comes to education. Anyone who has started a new garden knows that it's a long term project. Even if you're starting with great soil, or in the case of your business, a great idea or a remarkable product, there are a lot of steps involved to secure long term success. If you're trying to decide on what type of bank account you'll need, for example, you probably shouldn't start that process by picking out the design of your checks. As with gardening, the first thing you do is to ascertain what your business needs, or more specifically, what you need to know. You need to ask what the current environment is, what are the conditions you're operating under, and what do you need to learn to deal with them. The right fertilizer or the right education applied at the right time can provide your business with the right nutrients, which in turn will supply the right energy to initiate and sustain business growth. The long-term success of your business depends on what you know, when you know it, and how you apply that knowledge. But knowledge or its compilation can be complicated and expensive. I don't usually recommend shortcuts, but in today's technological climate, they're available, they're cheap, and they're targeted. Less than a generation ago, if you wanted to be educated, pretty much the only approach were the traditional education institutions, which were costly, slow, and if you were running a business, very intrusive. But that's not the case anymore. For instance, Google has developed an educational product called Coursera, which provides for targeted educational needs accompanied or accomplished in 3 or 6 month blocks. Over 100 community colleges, as well as major universities and employers, are taking part in this project. Currently, the offerings are limited, but there are other structured platforms available that offer pretty much anything you need to know to further your business. These include Skillshare, Masterclass, Udemy, edX, and Allison, to name a few. Skillshare and Masterclass are online learning communities that provide educational videos via subscription. Udemy is an open online course provider with a global reach, while edX, created by Harvard and MIT, hosts online university classes, some at no charge. Allison, which was founded in Galway, Ireland, is a totally free, self-paced online platform, mostly focused on workplace-based skills. Almost anything you need to learn to sustain business success is available. You just need to determine what you need to know, when you need to know it, and go out and learn it. Will Durant, an American writer, historian, and philosopher, said, "Education is a progressive discovery of our own ignorance." I would have to agree with that. So there you have it. This is this week's business success fertilizer application. I hope it is something that you can take to heart and use to grow your business. If you have any questions or you'd like to discuss any of that, or you have any ideas on how people can learn what they need to know, send me an email. I'd love to start a discussion with you. And if you'd like to know more about referral exchange networking and how you can join or even start your own chapter, reach out, let me know, and we will get started on that. Again, I hope everyone has a great day, and we will see you next week. Thanks a lot.